Maharaj says, very first thing, Ajita Jita. So he is giving the first principle regarding Lord, that Lord is unconquerable. But he makes one contradictory statement, Ajita Jita, that Lord is unconquerable, but still the Lord can be conquered. And he gives the process of conquering the Lord. And the very first thing he mentioned about the process is that Samamati Bihi, that we can conquer the Lord if we are Samamati Bihi. Samamati Bihi means, as Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, that a person who does not deviate from devotion service under any circumstances is called Samamati Bihi. So first the person must be firm and determined in performing the devotion service under any circumstances. And the second thing, the person should have the control over the senses. Jita Atma Bhir. So Jita Atma means the controlling the senses. And the third thing in the process is Akama. Akama means the person should not have any desire. And as Prabhupada mentions in another purport, that the person should not approach the Lord to mitigate his miseries. And if we approach the Lord to mitigate our miseries, that means we are causing the disturbance to the Lord. And the one thing finally said in the verse is Vijitatma. Vijitatma means spacious, fully conquered. So in the first line, Ajita Jita means the devotees can conquer the Lord. And the third line, it is said that if we follow the process of conquering the Lord, then Lord will conquer us. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentions, when it comes to the word Vijitatma or conquering the devotees, so Prabhupada says the Lord and the devotees both conquer. The Lord is conquered by the devotees and the devotees are conquered by the Lord. Because of being conquered by one another, they both derive transcendental bliss from their relationship. The highest perfection of this mutual conquering is exhibited by Krishna and the gopis. The gopis conquered Krishna and Krishna conquered the gopis. Thus, whenever Krishna played his flute, he conquered the minds of the gopis, and without seeing the gopis, Krishna could not be happy. Other transcendentalists, such as Jnanis and Yogis, cannot conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only pure devotees can conquer him. So here, the Lord and the devotees both conquer. So this means that there is a competition between the devotees and the Lord Krishna. And the competition is who is going to serve more. Is Krishna going to serve more to his devotees, or the devotees are going to serve more Krishna? Who is going to love more? Is Krishna is going to love more his devotees, or devotees will love Krishna more? So in the spiritual world and even in the material world, we see there is always a competition between Krishna and his devotees. Both wants to do more than the other party. And Prabhupada gives an example of the gopis, that gopis were able to conquer Krishna, but one thing we have to remember, that Krishna was not able to conquer the gopis ultimately. Although Prabhupada says in the purport here that Krishna was able to conquer the mind of the gopis, but at the end of the pastime, Lord Krishna says that I surrender myself unto you, na pareyaham. Krishna says, I cannot repay your debt, because gopis' love unto Krishna was undivided. And when Krishna says, I cannot repay your debt, or na pareyaham, so there Krishna wanted to say, the way Gopi did, Gopi surrendered everything, and Gopi's love was undivided. The love was not divided between Krishna, husband, children and all. They had one pointed love to Krishna. But Krishna says, I cannot do that. I have got so many other devotees. I have got Lakshmiji, I have got Prahlad Maharaj, I have got Dhruv Maharaj, I have got you. So my love will always remain divided. And that's why Krishna surrenders unto the gopis, and Krishna could not conquer the gopis. When we hear Bhagavad Gita, we know in the beginning, Arjuna had controlled Krishna. Arjuna said, Lord, please take the chariot in the midst of the two armies, and Krishna followed the order of Arjuna. So that time Arjuna had conquered Krishna. But soon after the Bhagavad Gita started, Krishna conquered Arjuna. Krishna became the master, and repeatedly Krishna was telling Arjuna, listen to me, listen to me. and Krishna went on giving the orders and instructions to Arjuna. There is a competition between Krishna and his devotees in terms of glorification. Who will glorify more? One side, the devotees tell Krishna that it's the dust of your devotees who purifies us. Because of your devotees, we are purified. And on the other hand, Krishna says, Yata sevaya charana padma pavitra renu. Krishna says, because I have engaged myself in the service of my devotees, my dust wipes out the sins of everyone. And I have acquired such a disposition that the Lakshmi Devi does not leave me, although I don't have any attachment to the Lakshmi. So there also we see there is a competition between Krishna and the devotees when it comes to the glorification. And there are many places where we see that Krishna's devotees have conquered him. We know the instance of Kunti Devi and Yudhishthir Maharaj when Krishna wanted to leave Hastinapur. Although Kunti Maharani tried to stop Krishna, but Krishna went into the palace to say goodbye to everybody. But then when Yudhishthir Maharaj approached Krishna, Krishna was conquered by his love and he decided to stay for some more time in Hastinapur. When Prahlad Maharaj appeared, Prahlad Maharaj was able to conquer the Lord. When he appeared, everybody tried to pacify the Lord, but nobody could pacify the Lord. And rather, it's said that Lord did not pay the attention to anybody except Prahlad Maharaj. So that point of time, Prahlad Maharaj was able to conquer Lord Narasimha Dev in a very beautiful manner. So in this way, there is always a competition going on between Krishna and his devotees. That's why in the verse Chitraketu Maharaj, 2 times he mentioned Jita Ajita, and third line says Vijitatma. So Jita Ajita, that's for the devotees, they conquer the Lord. Vijitatma, it's for the Krishna, that in turn he also conquers the devotees. And another beautiful thing Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, that after the Lord conquers the devotees, the Lord has full control over the devotees. So that means Krishna will do everything for the devotees, what is best for them. And in this verse, as I mentioned, Chitraketu Maharaj is giving us a process to conquer the Lord. And the process is Samamati Bihi, the devotees do not deviate from devotion service under any circumstances. Their mind, their senses are under their control. And third thing, Akama, they don't desire anything and they don't approach the Lord, or rather they don't disturb the Lord to mitigate their miseries. So this process is easy to say, but it's difficult to practice. If anybody wants to conquer the Lord by following this process, he will find it difficult to follow all these things. But interestingly, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 14th chapter, Lord Brahma gives us another process to conquer the Lord. And there Lord Brahma says, Jnane prayasam udapasya namanta eva jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiya vartam sthane sthita shrutigatam tanuvagmanobhe ye prayaso ajita jitopi taistrilokyam. Very beautiful verse. So here Brahmaji is advising us, Jnane prayasam udapasya, that give up your mental speculation. Don't try to understand the Lord by your mental power, by your mental logic. And instead of engaging yourself in mental arguments, mental logic, mental speculation, Lord Brahma says, simply what we need to do, namanta. What we need to do, naman. We have to offer our obeisances. Now we have to offer obeisances to whom? We have to offer our obeisances unto Bhavadiya Vartam. Bhavadiya means Krishna, Varta means his glories, his katha. Here Brahmaji is not telling us that we have to offer our obeisances to the Lord. Brahmaji is telling us Naman Bhavadiya Vartam, that we have to offer obeisances to the Lord Krishna's glories, or where Varta means where Krishna's glories are being discussed. And third thing Brahmaji mentions, how to offer our obeisances unto Bhavadiya Vartam, where Krishna's topics are being recited. So he says, Tanu Vag Manobhir. We have to offer our obeisances by Tanu Vag Mano. Tanu means our body, Vag means words, and Mano means offering our obeisances through body unto Lord Krishna's topics means wherever Krishna's topics are being recited, we have to touch the ground with our head and hands. Offering our obeisances unto Krishna's topic through our words means we glorify Bhagavad Gita, we glorify Srimad Bhagavatam, and we glorify the devotees who are reciting Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and discussing Krishna's topic. Kunti Maharani says, Shranvanti Gayanti Grananti, Shranvanti Gayanti Grananti Abhikshnesha Smaranti Nandanti Tave Hitam Jana. The fourth thing Kunti Maharani mentions in the Shranvanti Gayanti Grananti Smaranti, that we hear or we chant or we remember, right? We can cross over the material ocean within no time. But if anybody says, I don't have the time to hear Krishna's glories, or I don't have the interest in hearing Krishna's glories, I cannot chant Krishna's glories, I cannot remember the Lord. So Kunti Maharani says, Nandanti, that we appreciate the people who are engaged in this service. We have to appreciate the people who are engaged in discussing Krishna's glories, pastimes. We have to appreciate the people who are chanting Krishna's glories. We have to appreciate the people who are remembering the Lord. And if we do it, its effect is same as chanting Krishna's glories. So that's what it means, that we have to offer our obeisances unto Krishna's topics through our words. And the third thing, we have to offer our obeisances unto Krishna's topics by mind. And how can we offer our obeisances unto Krishna's topics by mind? Is feeling sense of great reverence and pleasure when we hear Krishna's topics. So if we do these three things, that we it's not three things, it's rather one thing. If we offer our obeisances unto Krishna's topics by our body, mind and words, then the result is that ye prayaso. Prayaso means if we endeavor to do this, ajita jita, again the same thing, ajita jita, that the Lord who cannot be conquered by anyone in the three worlds can be conquered by the person who does this thing. So here Lord Brahma is telling us, he mentions the word prayasa 2 times, that we have the option either to engage or invest our energy in doing the mental speculation, trying to understand the Lord by mental logic, and through which we cannot understand the Lord. That is sure, because Lord's another name is Achintya, inconceivable. He cannot be seen by the eyes. So we cannot understand the Lord by our body and mind, by our mental body and mind. And so instead of investing our energy trying to speculate about the Lord, we have to engage our energy, or we have to make an effort in offering the obeisances unto Krishna's topics through our body, mind and word. Now why Brahmaji is telling us to offer the obeisances by body, word and mind? Srila Prabhupada in the purport to the verse 617 in the Srimad Bhagavatam 6.1.7, Srila Prabhupada mentions Mana Ukta Panibhi. Mana means mind, Ukta means word, Panibhi means our body. So Prabhupada says that we commit sinful activities either through mind or by speaking or by using our body by physical action. So if we can engage our mind, our body, our words in the glorification of Krishna, then we will be committing less and less sins through money, through mana, ukta, pani bihin. So that's why not only in this verse, but there are several places in the Srimad Bhagavatam where it is mentioned that we have to engage our mind, body and words unto Lord Krishna service. In another verse that's recited by Vritrasura, the Aham Hare Tava Padeka Mula. So in the last 2 lines, Vritrasura mentions Mana Smare Tastu Pate Gunamste Granit Vag Karma Karutu Vaya. So there also Vritrasura mentions 3 things. He expresses a desire. The very first thing he says that I want to be the servant of the servant of the servant of Lord. And finally he says that I want to engage my mind in remembering the attributes of the glories of the Lord. I want my words my Vani to glorify the Lord. And then he says, I want to engage my body in performing the devotion service. So it's very important that we endeavor to engage our mind, our words, power to speech, and our body in glorifying the Lord. And if we cannot do that, at least what we can do with these three things, we glorify Bhagavad Gita, we glorify Bhagavatam, we glorify the devotees who have been engaged in performing these services. And if we can do these things, as Chitraketu Maharaj mentions, we can conquer the Lord. And conquer the Lord to what extent we can conquer the Lord? It is said, Atmadaha. Lord will give himself to you. Because Ati Karuna, Lord is very merciful. One thing we must understand, that although several places it is said that we can conquer the Lord, but no one has the potency, power to conquer the Lord. It's Lord's sweet will, Lord's mercy, by which he allows himself to be controlled. When Yashoda Mata was running after Lord Krishna could have gone on running, right? Mother Yashoda would not have been able to catch Lord Krishna. But we all know that it's Lord Krishna's mercy. He himself allowed Yashoda Mata bound. Similarly, it was his will that he decided to pull the chariot of Arjuna. Otherwise, Arjuna could not have pushed or forced Krishna to pull the chariot. So that is the mercy of Lord Krishna. So now, this is a verse which glorifies Lord Anantadeva, and there are 14 more verses spoken by Chitraketu Maharaj. And one other thing I wanted to discuss when we talk about the glories of Lord Balarama, his service attitude. So today we will discuss a few points relating to the service attitude which is manifested by Lord Balarama in his pastimes. And as I mentioned to you, that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, there are 5 verses which glorifies Lord Balarama and gives us the mood of Lord Balarama. And I'll just read the translation, and when you have the time, you can read even the verses which are spoken by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So here, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that Ananta Shesha is the devotee incarnation of Godhead. He knows nothing but service to Lord Krishna. Ishvare seva vina nahi jane ara. So that's the nature of Lord Balarama, that he does not know anything but to serve the Lord Krishna. And he is known as a Bhakta Avatara. Many of us, we know that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended on this earth to teach us how to perform the devotion service. But very few of us know the Lord Balarama, the first expansion of Krishna, expanded just for this reason, to show us how to perform the devotion service. He is known as a servitor God, the God who appeared as a servant to show us how to serve Krishna. With his thousands of mouths, he sings the glories of Lord Krishna. But although he always sings in that way, he does not find an end to the qualities of the Lord. The 4 Kumaras hear Srimad Bhagavatam from his lips, and they in turn repeat in the transcendental bliss of love of Godhead. He serves Lord Krishna assuming all the following forms: umbrella, slippers, bedding, pillow, garments, resting chair, residence, sacred thread, and throne. He is thus called Lord Shesha, for he has attained the ultimate end of servitude to Krishna. He takes many forms for the service of Krishna, and thus he serves the Lord. So these 5 verses describes very beautifully the mood of Lord Anantadeva. And as we discussed yesterday, that Lord Balarama assumes 5 forms, and this is also given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the same 5th chapter, in one of the beginning verses. And the 5 forms we discussed are Mahasankarshana, Karnodkashai Vishnu, Garbhodkashai Vishnu, Shirodkashai Vishnu, and Ananta Deva. And as we discussed that as a Mahasankarshana, Lord Balarama manifests the spiritual opulences and he gives the shelter to the Chit potency of the Lord. And that form is responsible for manifesting the opulences in the spiritual world. That's the first thing. And the second, when it comes to the Karnodkashai Vishnu, Garbhodkashai, Shirodkashai Vishnu, assume these forms to manifest the cosmos, universes and the planets. The 5th form, which is Ananta Deva, he assumes that form to act as a personal servant of the Lord. So the Lord Balarama, he serves the Lord in the spiritual world. He serves the Lord when it comes to create the cosmos, universes and the planets. And then he continues his service when Lord descends on this earthly planet. And we know the Lord Balarama appeared as Lakshman along with the Lord Rama. He appeared as Nityananda with the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After assisting the Lord in the spiritual planet, spiritual world, and assisting the Lord in creating the whole cosmos, still he is not satisfied, and he would descend with the Lord, before the Lord, to be ready to engage in his service. And when Lord Balarama appears, he serves Lord in all the 5 rasas. We know there are certain devotees who serve the Lord in one particular rasa. We know about Arjuna, he served the Lord in rasa of friendship. There are 5 rasas. The Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. There are 5 rasas. And Arjuna, we know he served the Lord as his friend. Hanumanji, we know he served the Lord as a servant. But Lord Balarama, although he is the first expansion of the Lord, there is no difference between the Lord Krishna and Balarama. But still, Lord Balarama, he will serve Krishna in all the 5 rasas. When it comes to the Shant Rasa, Shant Rasa means the mood of service where the devotee does not establish any relationship with the Lord. That's a Shant. Like Arjuna established a relationship with Krishna as his friend. Hanuman established a relationship as a servant. There is a relationship when it comes to other 4 rasas. Shant Rasa, there is no relationship. So, Balarama, he serves Lord Krishna by becoming his paraphernalia. As Ananta Shesha, as I mentioned or given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he would become the umbrella, he would become the sleepers, he would become the bed, he would become his chair. There is no relationship, but he would manifest himself in all those paraphernalia which is needed by Krishna. That's a Shantrasa. When it comes to the Shanta Dasya, so Dasya means becoming the servant. And as we know, there are past times when Lord Krishna and Balarama both go to the Vrindavan forest. Krishna feels tired and immediately Lord Balarama would start massaging the feet of Krishna. So there Balarama is serving Krishna in the mood of his servant. And Sakhya as a friend, we know both Krishna and Balarama, they played together. There are several pastimes when they were playing together as a friends. And as a Vatsalya, parental affection, we know that Lord Balarama, being the elder brother, always accompanied Lord Krishna whenever Lord Krishna went to the forest. And he had that kind of affection. Although he knew Krishna's power, but in order to demonstrate the parental affection, he always accompanied Krishna in the parental affection mood. And finally, Madhurya Rasa. There also Lord Balarama assisted Krishna. Now Lord Balarama did not want to participate in the Ras Leela, but still he wanted to serve Krishna even during that pastime. So that time he became the younger sister of Radharani, Anand Manjari, and then in that mood he served Lord Krishna. When Lord In another pastime, when Lord Rama appeared, and both Lord Rama and Lakshmana goes to Janakpur, and there when Lord Ram sees Sita, so even that time the Lord Rama is sharing his intimate feelings with Lakshmana, because Lakshmana at that time he assumed the Madhurya Bhava. So the Lord Balaram is serving Lord Krishna, and even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wherever possible, he exhibits that how can we serve the Lord in all the 5 different rasas. So the first thing we learn from Lord Balaram's expansions is that we should always remain engaged in Lord's service in any form we may take in. Like Lord Balaram assumes different forms in. So in our case also, we keep assuming different forms. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, everyone keeps changing body. At some point of time, we are a young boy or girl, and then we are a child, in the beginning, then we attain to the youth, then the old age, and so and so. So whatever stage we are, we should see how can we serve the Lord. We may move from one ashram, another ashram. At one point, someone may be engaged in studying. Then from that stage, the person may move to the grahast ashram. So again, we are changing the position, right? But we have to see that wherever we are, whatever form we have got, how we can engage ourselves serving the Lord. Similarly, in this material world, we also have the relationship with so many people. We are serving so many people. We have so many friends. We also have the parental relationship. We also become the parents. We have the husband and wife. Every time we have to watch out ourselves that are we trying to engage ourselves in serving the Lord in whatever position we are. Sthane sthita shruti gatam. Brahmaji says sthane sthita means we do not have to change our position. Whatever position, whatever occupation, whatever ashrama, whatever stage, whatever condition we are in, Krishna has made the arrangement for us to serve him. And that's what we need to find out through the devotees. And the second thing we learn from Lord Balaram is that every devotional activity is absolute. There is no devotional activity which is inferior or superior. In the very first expansion as Mahasankarshana, Lord Balaram is giving the shelter to the Chit potency of Lord Krishna, and there manifest the 6 opulences in the spiritual world. That's Lord Balaram. But the same Lord Balaram would appear in the heart of each and every living entity in the form of Shirodkashai Vishnu. And when we say Lord Balaram as a Shirodkashai Vishnu enters into the heart of each and every living entity, we should not think of only the human beings. Living entity includes even the pigs also. Living entity includes even the microbes, bacteria in the stool also. And there also the Lord chooses to enter into the heart of all those living entities, because that is required. If the Lord doesn't manifest himself as a super soul in each and every living entity, then even our soul will not be able to function. So that is required for the purpose of creation. So Lord Balaram accepts everything what is required for the service of the Lord. So similarly, we should also have the same mood. There is no devotional activity which is called a menial service. Many times we say, Prabhu, this is a menial service, let me do it, right? Or why I have been asked to do this seva, why this person has got that service and all. We have to forget everything, right? We have to simply focus what has been given to us, what has been assigned to us, or what we are capable to do. Dasanuda. We should have the mood of the servant of the servant. We have to look at what has been advised to us by Krishna and the spiritual master. Because if we don't do that, then sooner or later we will get distracted from performing the devotion service. We will have the inferiority complex, we will have the pride, we will have the ego, that why should I do this seva? Right? This is not meant for me. I am a senior devotee. I have been in ISKCON for so many years. My position is this, so and so, Nothing is relevant, Nothing is relevant. Lord Balaram does not think at all any of these things, All these manifestations happen at the same time. When we talk about this Karnodkashai Vishnu, Garbhodkashai, Shirodkashai Vishnu, everything happens simultaneously. It's not there is a gap. It's not that Lord Balaram is thinking, should I do this or not? So that's the second thing we learned, that there is no devotional activity is menial. Every devotional activity is absolute. And the third thing we learned from Lord Balaram, that while he is engaged in serving the Lord, his mind and senses are always under full control. We know from the pastimes of Lord Rama and Lakshmana when they were in the forest, Lakshmana did not sleep 14 years. How could it happen? How could it happen? Because his senses were under control. And many times we hear from the acharyas that during those 14 years, Lakshmana did not eat anything, or he ate very minimal, right, which is required for the survival. That's why he was able to conquer even the sleeper. In terms of conquering the mind, he was engaged in the service of Sita Mata. The Sita Mata, whose beauty cannot be compared with any other beauty in the world. But when Lord Rama asked Lakshman that please can you identify, is this jewelry belongs to Sita or not? So Lakshmana said, my lord, I cannot identify it. Why can't you do it? So that time Lakshmana says, my lord, I never had audience of Sita Mata except her lotus feet. So that was the mood of Lord Balaram in the form of Lakshmana, that although the unlimitedly beautiful woman in the form of Mother Sita was with him, he was engaged in the service, but he still never ever he looked at Sita Mata except her lotus feet. And the fourth thing we learned from Lord Balaram pastimes, that we should be free from any and all desires. Lord Balaram does not have any desire for seeking, getting any kind of respect, any kind of glorification. Anya abhilashita shunyam. He has absolutely zero desire for his own glorification. There are several pastimes in the Srimad Bhagavatam where Krishna has killed so many asuras and demons. And Balarama was all the times with Krishna except a couple of pastimes. But all the times it's Krishna who killed those demons and asuras. Because Balaram did not want to take any credit for killing those asuras and demons. A couple of places, as we discussed, where Lord Balaram showed his pastime of killing a few demons. But all the times, the credit goes to the Lord. He has only one desire. Everyone should glorify Lord Krishna, his master. Balaram serves Krishna as is the only and only the supreme master. In one of the bhajans, we know that Nityanand Prabhu is begging the people that Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Koro Krishna's Siksha. So Balaram is begging everyone that Bolo Krishna, please chant Hare Krishna. Bhajo Krishna, please worship Krishna. Koro Krishna Siksha, please preach the glories of Krishna. And Balaram says in the form of Nityanand Prabhu that if you do these things, if you engage yourself in worshipping the Lord Krishna, then you can purchase me. Then you can purchase me. So to this extent, Lord Balaram is obsessed in engaging everyone in the glorification of the Lord. So we should have the similar type of obsession to engage everyone in glorifying the Lord and his devotees and the spiritual master. And the fifth thing we learned from the pastimes of Lord Balaram, that we have to engage all our energies in Lord's service. Just now we read that Lord Ananta Deva has been glorifying the Lord Krishna with his thousands of hoods. Although Anantadev has thousands of hoods, but he doesn't keep any 1, 2, 3, 4 hoods aside that okay, I will not use these mouths for not glorifying Krishna. Rather, he engages all his mouths for glorifying the Krishna. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nij Sarva Shakti. We read from Shikshashkam that Lord has invested all his potencies in his holy name. And what is the meaning that Lord has invested all his potencies in his names? It means that one of the potencies of the Lord is that his one breath is of 311 trillion years. That's one of the potencies of the Lord. Just by his glance, the whole creation gets destroyed. By his potency, so many things get manifested in. Any and everything what Krishna can do, that is a potency, and Krishna says, I have invested everything in my names. Right? So, what is our duty? Our duty is that when we engage ourselves in serving the Lord, we should also invest all our energy in performing that devotion service. And another thing we have to remember, that there is no tiredness, there is no sickness when we perform the devotion service. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a very beautiful verse where it is in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 2nd chapter, verse number 3, 3-3. And instead of 3-3, in order to remember, you can say 1-2-3, right? Then it will be easy to remember. But from that verse, we can learn that how Uddhava, he remained enthusiastic to serve the Lord even when he attained his old age. And in the translation, Srila Prabhupada says that Uddhava thus served the Lord continually from childhood, and in his old age, that attitude of service never slackened. And in his old age, that attitude of service never slackened. As soon as he was asked about the message of the Lord, he at once remembered all about him. And the purport, Prabhupada mentions very beautifully, transcendental service to the Lord is not mundane. The service attitude of the devotee gradually increases and never becomes slackened. So, when we say that we have to engage all our energies in Krishna service, we may wonder or we may say, how can we do it? At some point of time, we will become old and we won't be able to perform the devotion service. We would be weak and so. But here we have the example from Srimad Bhagavatam given in the verse, and Prabhupada also mentions that the service attitude of the devotee gradually increases and never becomes slackened. Generally, in old age, a person is allowed retirement from mundane service. But in the transcendental service of the Lord, there is no retirement at all. On the contrary, the service attitude increases more and more with the progress of age. Many times we say that we have been in the ISKCON for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years. So we have to assess ourselves against this verse, against this criteria, that as we are progressing in our age, is our service attitude increasing or decreasing? If our service attitude is decreasing, that means there is something wrong. There is something wrong. Because if we follow the process, the service attitude should increase. Prabhupada says in the transcendental service, there is no satiation and therefore there is no retirement. And service on the bodily plane dwindles as the body grows older, but the spirit is never old. And therefore on the spiritual plane, the service is never tiresome. Uddhava undoubtedly became old, but that does not mean that his spirit became old. His service attitude matured on the transcendental plane, and therefore, as soon as he was questioned by Vidura about Lord Krishna, he at once remembered his Lord by reference to the construct and forget himself on the physical plane. So we have to remember that although we have to engage all our energies in Krishna service, but our energy will be maintained by the grace of the Lord if we pray to the Lord and to have the mood of Uddhava and his devotees, or like even Srila Prabhupada, even his old age, whatever Srila Prabhupada could do, our Guru Maharaj always says that whatever Srila Prabhupada did, the entire ISKCON, all of his disciples and disciples of disciples, anybody who's in the ISKCON, the whole world cannot do it. He was especially empowered by the Lord because of his mood of service unto his spiritual master. And the sixth thing we learned from the pastimes of Lord Balarama, that despite being engaged in doing all this service unto Lord Krishna, he does not give up preaching. He engages himself preaching Srimad Bhagavatam. In the verse number 1, in the verse number 121, it says that Kare Krishna Gungan, Sahasrabadne Krishna Kare Gungan, that with the thousands of hoods, what is he doing? He is reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, which contains the glories of Krishna. And who is hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam? It's Sanat Kumara. They are the one hearing the Bhagavatam from Ananta Shesha. And when we talk about the service attitude means we have to be in the mood of serving not only on the Krishna, but we have to be in the mood of serving his whole creation, particularly the human beings. And that's where the point of preaching comes. And Lord Balarama, although being engaged in serving Lord Krishna in the spiritual world, in creating the cosmos, universes and planets, and being his personal paraphernalia and accompanying the Lord to assist in his pastimes in this world, still he thinks and he does the preaching. He thinks the preaching of Srimad Bhagavatam is important, and he does it. He does it. He doesn't feel tired. Seventh thing we learned, that the devotion service should continue without any interruption. We hear from Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam that since time immemorial, Lord Balarama is glorifying Lord Krishna with his thousands of mouths. Nowhere we read that ever there was any break performing the glorification of the Lord. And Lord Balarama is able to glorify the Lord continuously without any break, uninterruptedly, because he does not desire anything. Yesterday when we were discussing Samamati, Prabhupada mentions a pure devotee of the Lord does not deviate from devotion service under any circumstances. Does not disturb the Lord to mitigate his miseries. That's the mood Balarama is carrying. Just now we discussed, you take any form, anytime. He does not deviate from performing the devotion service. He doesn't feel tired. He doesn't approach the Lord that, okay, my Lord, I am tired. I cannot do these things. Blah, blah, right? So that's what we learn from Balarama's pastime, or the purpose of Lord Balarama's assuming several forms. Know that Lord Balarama assumes several forms. And by now we also know that Lord Balarama assumes all those forms just with one motive, one objective. And that objective is to serve the Lord. So we learn from Lord Balarama the service attitude, and now we will discuss the symptoms of the service attitude, that how the service attitude is manifested. What is the external manifestation of a service attitude? That also we learned from Lord Balarama. As we know that Lord Balarama, when he assumes the form of Mahasankarshana and after that Karnotkashai Vishnu, he injects the material world, the nature, with all the living entities. And why does he inject all those living entities into the material nature? Or why does he bring all those jivas into this material world? With only one objective, one motive, to engage all those jivas unto the service of Lord Krishna. And we know that there are millions and trillions of jivas who come to this material world, and hardly few of them engage themselves in serving the Lord. So due to his mercy and to serve Krishna, Lord Balarama assumes another form. He manifests himself as a guru, as a spiritual master. And we should know that Balarama is known as Adi Guru also. Why Adi Guru? Because he is the spiritual master of everyone. Lord Krishna's mission in creating the whole cosmos and the universe and the planets is to bring every living entity to his own planet, Golok Dham. That's his mission. So when we say Balarama is engaging himself in serving the Lord, that means Balarama is engaging himself in taking all these living entities back to Krishna's Loka. That's the mood of Lord Balarama. We have the spiritual master in this material world. He is the manifestation of Lord Balarama. Without his mercy or without Lord Balarama's mercy, we cannot go to Krishna. In the morning when we sing Sansara Dava Nal Need Loka, Pranaya Karunya Ghana Ghanatvam. So every day morning we recite that the spiritual master comes in the form of clouds and he showers that rain to extinguish the repeated fire of birth and death. And in that particular form of Guru is showing more mercy than Krishna. Many times we say that Krishna is a Kripa Sindhu. He is the ocean of mercy. But on the other hand, if you look at the forest fire, if there is a fire in the forest, how the fire can be extinguished? The fire can be extinguished by pouring the water. Now the ocean is full of the water. But can anybody take the water from the ocean and pour on the forest? No, it's undoable. Although the water is there, but still the forest fire cannot be extinguished despite having so much water. So although the Krishna is there in his form as Kripa Sindhu, like ocean of mercy, but that time that Kripa doesn't work. That time the spiritual master will carry that water, will carry the mercy in the form of clouds and pour upon us so that we can be liberated from this material world. And that's a job of Lord Balarama. So when we hear about Lord Balarama's pastimes, we discuss that how Lord Balarama is preaching the service attitude to everybody. Now when we talk about the service attitude, we should understand what is the meaning of attitude. The meaning of attitude is thinking, willing, feeling. How do we think? How do we will? How do we desire? And how do we feel about something? That's the attitude. And one of the places Prabhupada mentioned in the purport that when Krishna talks about bhava means it's our service attitude. So in our devotion life, service attitude is very important. There are external manifestations of our service attitude unto Krishna. If we want to assess ourselves that we have the attitude to serve Krishna, or do we have the right bhava? Bhava means thinking, willing, feeling. That's called attitude. So how can we judge ourselves? So based on Srila Prabhupada purports, I jotted a few points and I'll share those points in summary to assess ourselves whether we have the right service attitude or not. So the very first thing, or the first, not the first, one of the external manifestation of our service attitude is that we should engage, or we should try to engage everything in the service of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada says in Ishopanishad that all our powers comes from Lord Krishna. Everything comes from Krishna. So if everything is coming from the Krishna, all the power is coming from the Krishna, that means Krishna is the owner of everything. He is the owner of all the energies. And that is a fact. And if that is a fact, then what is our duty? That we should try to engage all our energies, all our positions in the service of the Lord. Attempt to do it. If we endeavor to do it, then that's a symptom of our service attitude unto Krishna. The second, that while we engage all our energies and power and possessions unto service of Krishna, we have to think of the pleasure of Krishna. We should not think of about our own pleasure, about our own bodily comfort. I don't like AC, right? So my tendency is generally I turn off the AC whenever it's cold in. But in case of Krishna, he doesn't like the hot environment. Whenever Krishna appears, the environment is a cool. It's not a cold. It's a cool breeze. It says in the Ramayana and the Bhagavatam that the cool breeze is blowing. It's neither hot nor cold. So we should think about the pleasure of the Krishna. What will be pleasing? What will give comfort to the Krishna? Similarly, when we cook the bhoga, right, we should think about the pleasure of Krishna. That what Krishna likes and what Krishna does not like. Whatever things are prohibited, I'm not talking about the meat, liquor and all. Even there are other things. For them, Lord Jagannath does not take certain things, right? Certain things are not offered to the Lord. So we should try to avoid those things at least on certain days, so that we have the remembrance of Lord. Or we can say that we are sacrificing something for the pleasure of the Lord. So that's another symptom of the service attitude. And the third thing, the manifestation of service attitude, is that we do not go against the wishes of the Lord. Thinking of the pleasure of the Lord, we can talk about in terms of the environment, in terms of offering the service to the Lord. But wishes of the Lord, that we have to see what the Lord wishes, what the Lord wants, what the spiritual master wants. Dronacharya did not want to give the art of archery to Eklavya, but still he made an effigy of Dronacharya and he learned the art of archery and he started claiming himself as a disciple of Dronacharya. So that's not the attitude of service to the Lord and the spiritual master. On the other hand, we learn from the pastime of Vritrasura, it is given the Srimad Bhagavatam, that Vritrasura was able to conquer the three worlds. He was so powerful. But still he knew that Lord wanted demigods to win the battle. So to fulfill the wish of the Lord, Vritrasura chose to lose the battle against Indra. So that's the mood of a devotee, that's a service attitude, that we don't go against the wishes of the Lord and the spiritual master. And fourth symptom of the service attitude is that while we engage ourselves in the service of the Lord, we have to engage even others to the best of their capabilities in serving the Lord. And not only we engage others in serving the Lord, but we should appreciate their service. That's another symptom of the service attitude unto the Lord. And the fifth symptom is that we perform every activity very submissively in the mood of service or as an attitude of service unto Krishna. In one of the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions that when we hear from Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first canto, first chapter, second verse, Dharma Projita Ketvata Parmoya, that when you start reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord will sit in your heart and He would never leave. And Srila Prabhupada says, it will happen only when you read and hear Srimad Bhagavatam in the mood of service. It means that when you hear Srimad Bhagavatam, you should have the mood that I am rendering a service unto Srimad Bhagavatam. When we get an opportunity to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we should have the mood that I am serving Srimad Bhagavatam. So whatever service we do, we should have the mood that is a service unto Lord Krishna. And another manifestation of our service attitude, the service does not become a burden on us. We don't feel that any service we do is a burden on us. We understand from the scriptures that Ananta Deva is carrying thousands of universes on his, but he does not feel anything. He does not feel anything. There are two reasons. One, it's a transcendental. He has got unlimited power, Balarama. The second, he is carrying all those universes on his hood because his mood is that I am rendering service unto the Lord. This is for the service of the Lord. That's why he does not feel any burden on his head. When a mother is carrying a baby in the womb, does mother feel any burden of the baby, although baby has got a weight? Sometimes a mother carries 2-3 babies also, right? But mother does not feel any weight because the love is there. The love is there. So our love unto Krishna is manifested into the service, and our service attitude means that whatever service we do it with love and affection. We do love and affection. We don't do as a burden. It can be anything. It can be chanting, it can be cooking, it can be cleaning, it can be preaching, it can be studying, anything. We don't make it a ritual. There is a very thin difference between spiritual and ritual. S-P-R-I-T-U-L, spiritual. Ritual, R-I-T-U-L. Only 2 alphabet difference. Any devotional activity we do as a burden, then it becomes a ritual. It loses its full spiritual potency. And the another manifestation of our service attitude is the timeliness in performing the devotional service. If we have the service attitude unto Lord Krishna, then we should feel that we are the servants of Lord. And we have the experience that when we serve our bosses in the office, we all have one way or other way some commitments to the office, to the businesses, right? So since I think that I am serving so-and-so company, so I am always there on time. And if I am late, I would inform the company, I would inform the boss. And most of the times, we attend to our offices in time. But in our case, when we look at our schedule of performing the devotion service, we don't have any fixed time. We don't have any fixed time. The time keeps changing according to our convenience. But when it comes to serving our bosses in the office, despite all our inconveniences, we are there on time. We remain there for the whole day. We listen to the bosses. We do several things. Why? Because we sincerely believe that I am serving so-and-so company. I am serving so-and-so person. But when it comes to serving the Lord, I believe that mood that I am the servant of Lord is missing, and we can easily see when we look at our schedule of performing various devotional activities. Although as a grahastha, we have so many challenges, but still those challenges can be handled. If not all the challenges, some challenges can be handled, and we can be more regular, or we can perform the devotion service in a timely manner. Anyway, Prabhuji and Mataji, the lot more to say in glories of Lord Balarama, but now we are already at 9 o'clock, so I would like to stop the katha here, and I would like to thank you all for your time and attention. Really grateful to you for hearing Lord Balarama's glories. So now at the end, I would like to hear from the devotees. If any devotee has got any realization, any comments, quickly in 5 minutes before we end the session. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji.
Thank you, Swami. Thank you for this very good thing.
Hello?
One question actually. Balaram throughout his life in Mahabharata is very much soft corner for Kauravas, especially for Duryodhana.
Yeah.
Instead of he was going doing all adharma, but he was very much protected by Balarama. Can you please explain throw some light on this matter, Prabhuji?
He was particularly
Very soft corner for Duryodhana. And in fact, he wanted Subhadra to get married also.
So, Prabhu, it's not strange it's not strange that the Lord had a soft corner for Duryodhana, and Lord has a soft corner not only for Duryodhana, but there are so many innumerable Duryodhanas which we can't see, which we cannot experience. So, Lord, although we say Lord Balarama had a soft corner for Duryodhana, but still he was not biased to Duryodhana. When Lord Krishna offered his Akshoni Sena to Kauravas, in that Akshoni Sena, even Balarama was also included. But Balarama chose not to fight against Krishna. He did not take the side of Balarama. Rather, he decided to go for a pilgrimage, and he returned only after the battle of Kurukshetra was. So I don't think that, although Lord Balarama had a soft corner for Duryodhana, but he was not biased to Duryodhana. And another point of time, we know that one of the pastime when Duryodhana did not let Samba, who is the son of Jamvati and Krishna, he started pulling the whole Hastinapur with a move to drown it in the Ganges, in the Yamuna river. So I don't think, Prabhu, the Lord Balarama was biased. We know that he had a soft corner, but that's natural for the Lord.
Is there any instance he wanted to get Subhadra to get married to Duryodhana?
Prabhu, that I do not know about it. And frankly speaking, Prabhu, I have not read the Mahabharata. So I do not have the full knowledge of the chronology and the pastimes or the various things that happened during the time of the Krishna and particularly Arjuna or Kauravas and Pandavas. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.